Everybody, this is High Elf God coming at you with another video. In this video, I'm going to show you a visual of the antique furnishings that you can get in the game. I'm not going to go over how to do excavation and all of that stuff. There's other guides on the antiquities and how to work the leads that you get through the excavation and scrying. I'm not going to go through that. This is just specifically a video for you to get a visual of the actual furnishings that you put in your house from the antiquity leads that you can get. That being said, I am going to tell you how I acquired them and with the limited research that I did to acquire them for myself, how others have verified they've gotten them. So there will be other ways to get them that I haven't said or told you, but I'm just going to stick with what I know and how I acquired it. I'm going to start off with the maps. You're going to need to get the Pathfinder achievement for that zone of that map. So like the first one's the Alucard Desert. You're going to have to get the Pathfinder achievement for Alucard Desert, so on and so forth for each map from that specific zone. So if you don't want to see the maps or look at the maps, just go ahead and skip to the 6:46 mark, 6-minute 46-second mark of the video, and it'll start with the Heartland antiquity. And you can start from there if you don't want to see the maps. So let's go ahead and get into it with the first map. Antique map of Alucard Desert. Antique map of Auradon. The antique map of Bankarai. The antique map of Dishan. Antique map of Eastmarch. The antique map of Glenumbra. Antique map of the Gold Coast. The antique map of Grotwood. Antique map of Greenshade, where I grew up and I live. The antique map of Hughes Bane. The antique map of Mullabal Tor, the worst zone in the game. The antique map of Murkmire. Antique map of Northern Elsewhere. Antique map of Reaper's March. Antique map of Rivenspire. Antique map of Shadowfen. Antique map of Southern Elsewhere. The antique map of Stone Falls. Antique map of Stormhaven. Antique map of Somerset. Antique map of the Rift. Antique map of Vardenfell, strong candidate for worst zone in the game. And finally the antique map of Hrothgar, and that's it for the maps. Here we have the Heartland Painting. It's a massive painting. You get it in by farming Cyrodiil chests in Cyrodiil, and delve bosses. I have another video that shows you where all of the chests are located in Toadstool Hollow in Cyrodiil, so check that out. It's a great guide on how to get this lead. Here we have the Coil of Saticol. You get this by farming safe boxes in Sentinel in the Alucard Desert. If you go to the Sisters of the Sands Inn in Sentinel, there are, I believe, 2 safe boxes in there. I got this the first one that I tried to loot. Next is the Mary Serpent Shrine. You can get it off of random monsters, chests, and thieves' troves in Oradon. I believe I got mine out of a chest in Oradon. Next up is the beautiful painting Echoes of Aldmeri. You get this by farming chests in Oradon. It's a massive painting, very beautiful. I love the colors, the scheme, the design, everything about this painting I love. Next is the Dutiful Gore statue. You can get this in the safe boxes in the Fit for Kings house in Dalmora Balfoyen. If you go to Dalmoya in Balfoyen, there's a massive room with a bunch of safe boxes all around it, and just keep looting them until you get it. Here we have the Triangled Truth Altar, and this as well can be found in the safe boxes in the Fit for Kings house in Dalmoya Balfoyen as well. So you can go there to get a couple things actually. Very beautiful little thing there. Here we have the Tall Papa's Lamp. You can get this from the public dungeon bosses in Bankerai. That's where I got it. It's said that they drop in world with the world bosses, and also looting in Evermore. So if you're tall and a papa, I guess this is the lamp for you. Next up is the Ayleid Lightwell, one of my favorites. You get this from any random monster in Betnik, the Betnik area. It's a very beautiful little thing there. I really love it. I love the glow. I love everything about it. Here we have the Watercolors painted drum. You get it from any random monster in Betnik as well. It is interactable, has a little effect. You hit it, it does a single little bass bong. It's a little underwhelming. I was hoping that it did a little more than it does. Next is the very beautiful ruby dragon skull and very tiny ruby dragon skull. You get it from any random monsters in Bleak Rock Isle or Thieves' Troves in Bleak Rock Isle. It's a really tiny little dragon skull, but it is very detailed, intricate, very beautiful little thing. Next we have the Brazier of Frozen Flame. You can get from any random monster in Bleak Rock Isle as well. It's a very beautiful brazier, blue flame. I have a lot of plans for this brazier. I'm going to get quite a few of these for sure. Next we have the Mnemonic Star Sphere. You can get it from fishing in foul water in Clockwork City. I don't know what the drop rate is, but I got it on the first fish that I caught. The first fish I caught, I acquired it. It's a little tiny little intricate thing there. And here you have the Daedric Pillar of Torment. You can put your enemies on there if they mess with you. I got mine from the public dungeon boss. You can get them from chests in Cold Harbor. I got mine from the public dungeon boss in Cold Harbor. You can also get them from random monsters in Vaults of Madness as well. Next we have the Void Crystal Anomaly. You get it from, as far as I know, the only way to get it is harvesting nodes in Cold Harbor. So silk, wood nodes, those types of nodes. As far as I know, that's the only way to get it, from farming nodes. And here we have the Spellscar Shard. It's a little shard of the Spellscar. You get it from random monsters or chests in Craglorn. Honestly, I think they kind of missed on the flame. It should have been blue to me. It doesn't say Spellscar, but it's still a cool looking thing. And here we have the Altar of Celestial Convergence. You get this by defeating any final boss in any Craglorn trial, whether on normal or vet. It's a pretty big altar here. Has a cool little effect in the middle. And here we have the Blessed Deus of Almalexia. You can get this by farming safe boxes in Deshan, or Deshan, however you say it. If you go to the town of Narcissus in Deshan, there a lot of the houses there have safe boxes in them. So that's where I recommend you go. That's where I went to get it. Next we have the Sacred Chalice of Iskramor, and you get it from public dungeon bosses in Eastmarch. It's a very cool little chalice, very intricate detail. I like it. And here we have the Carved Oil Totem. It is an Eastmarch lead, but I got this lead from the killing mammoths around the Giant Camp world boss in the Rift, just above Riften. But it said that you can get them from random monsters in Eastmarch, but I would suggest farming the mammoths around that world boss in the Rift to get this. Next we have the Jeweled Skull of Ayleid Kings. You get this from random monsters in Imperial City PvP areas. I think you can even get them from the bosses there. I think you can get it from anything that you can kill there, except human players, of course. There's a pretty cool little skull with the crown on it. Looks cool. Next we have the Kingmakers Trove. You can get it from farming chests in Bankarai. It's a pretty intricate, beautiful little trove there. You can't open it or anything, it's just for show, I guess. But it does look pretty cool. It's a nice looking box there. Next we have the Golden Idol of Morehouse, and you can get it from killing Minotaur monsters in the Gold Coast. Any Minotaur that you come across, including the World Boss Minotaur, will drop this lead. Next we have the Meridianscots. It's a cool little chandelier with Meridia holding it up. You get it from the last boss in the Depths of Malatar. It's a pretty cool looking chandelier. I like it. It's pretty. Here we have the 8-star chandelier, and you can get it from public dungeon bosses in Grotwood, and also farming chests in Grotwood. It keeps spinning like that. You can't stop it. It has little crystals in there. It's a pretty cool looking chandelier. I think I have a few uses for a couple of these. It's really nice. Next we have Saint Almalexia Paravan Statue. You get it from as a reward for completing battlegrounds. Obviously if you win you get more rewards. But it's a pretty cool statue of Saint Almalexia. Next up we have the Greensong Gathering Circle. You can get this from public dungeon bosses in Greenshade as well as chests in Greenshade. Has a very earthy feel to it. Next up is a throne called the Branch of Fallen Esti, and you get it from farming nodes in Greenshade. So any crafting node like woodworking, etc., rubidite ore. Next we have the Yokuden Skystone Scabbard. You get this by farming chests in Hughes Bane or safe boxes in Alba's Landing in Hughes Bane. It's a cool little sword. Pretty intricate detail on there. I like the detail on the handle there. Next we have the Moros Blessing. You get it from quest rewards in the Thieves' Den in Hughes Bane. It's a pretty cool statue. It's a massive statue. But it does take, you do have to get to where you can do the daily quests for the Thieves' Den, Thieves Guild. Next up is the Sweet Canarthy Song. It's a tapestry because it's two-sided. You can get it from farming chests in Canarthy's Roost, and it's said that you can get it from Quama monsters, killing the Quama in Canarthy's Roost as well. Next up is the Cat's Eye Prism. You can get this by farming nodes in Canarthy's Roost, as well as Sigic portals in Canarthy's Roost, which is a node anyway, to me. That's kind of a cool little thing. It's got some pretty good detail on it. Here we have the Hollowbone Wind Chimes, and you can get this from farming chests in Malabal Tor, or public dungeon bosses in Malabal Tor as well. It's a pretty cool little, got a bunch of different little odd bones in there. It spins a little bit or moves around. Next we have the Sylvari Sapstone. You can get it from safe boxes in Malabal Tor or farming chests in Malabal Tor. That's a pretty deep color on the inside. I like it, it's nice. Next we have the Niswo Soul Tender. You can get it by farming bosses in the Tsofeer, Tsofeer Cavern Delve in Murkmire, however you say that, Tsofeer to Tsofeer, the bosses in that delve in Murkmire. Next we have the Moth Priest Cleansing Ball, and you can get this from random monsters in the Imperial Sewers PvP area. Next we have the Stained Glass of the Lunar Phases. You get this from any dragon boss or any dragon that you can kill. It is double-sided. You have to watch which way you face it if you do want the reflection on the ground or not. And here we have the Moonlight Mirror. You can get this from farming safe boxes in Reaper's March. I went to Ralka and got mine pretty easily. And here we have the Sorcerer King's Blade, and you get this through the quest rewards in Cheydinhal and Velastris in Cyrodiil. They're the little towns on the map, Cheydinhal and Velastris. There's daily quests there, and you just get this from the reward for doing it. And here we have the Riven King's Throne. You get this from chests in Rivenspire. So farming overland chests in Rivenspire, get this little intricate throne here that you can sit on. And here we have the Remnant of the False Tower. You get this from nodes in Rivenspire. So crafting nodes that show up over land in Rivenspire. Next is the Nest of Shadows, and you get this from defeating the boss in the final boss in Ark's Corinium. It's a cool little snake protecting his little egg there. And now we have the Moon's Blessed Ceremonial Pool, and you get this from the Moonlit Cove Delve, farming urns. There's urns right as you go inside the door. In Southern Elsewhere, you get this pretty cool pool that lights up. Very beautiful. And next we have the Shrine of Boethra, and you get that from defeating the dragons that show up over land in Southern Elsewhere, the world boss dragons that show up. And you get this huge statue of Boethra. And here we have the Ashen and Furnace Gate, and you can get this from safe boxes in Stonefalls, public dungeon bosses in Stonefalls, and random monsters in Stonefalls as well. Pretty cool little gateway. And now we get to the Noble Knight's Rest. You get this from defeating public dungeon bosses in Stormhaven. I could imagine making a little graveyard full of these. Would probably look pretty cool, or a crypt or something. And now we have the Beacon of Tower Zero, and you can get this from nodes in Stormhaven, as well as Sidric portals in Stormhaven. It's pretty cool light. This light is extremely bright. If you need something, a room lit up, you can hide this in a wall or something and it will really light it up. And here we have the Dwarven Puzzle Box, and you can get this from safe boxes, chests, or random monsters in Strauss Mackay. Or Strauss Mackay, however it's said, I don't know. And now we have the Dwemer Star Chart, and you can get this in chests and from random monsters in Strauss Mackay or Strauss Mackay, however you say it. And now we have the Prismatic Sunbird Feather, and you get that from killing griffins in Somerset. It's very bright colored feather there. Pretty cool. And next we have the Ebony Fox Totem, and you can get this from killing public dungeon bosses in the Rift. It's a little statue of a little fox. And now we have the rune carved mammoth skull. You get this from killing mammoths in the Rift. I suggest that you go to the giant camp world boss in the Rift, just north of Riften. There's a bunch of mammoths there, and there's a good chance of getting it from there. I think that's the largest collection of mammoths that you can find there. And here we have the 6th house ritual table. You can get this from the group event boss in Vardenfeld public dungeon. So not just a world boss or a public dungeon boss, it has to be the group event boss there. And next we have the Saint Nerevar Moon and Stars statue or bust. You get it from the daily quest rewards as a daily quest reward in Vardenfell. There's kind of a prerequisite to get the quest, daily quest, but you can get that from there. And now we have the Seat of the Snow Prince, and you can get this from world bosses or bosses in the Entuthenkarst public dungeon in Vardenfell. And here we have the Font of Auriel, and you can get this from random monsters in Blackreach or trash mobs in Kind's Aegis. I believe you have a way better chance of getting it from the trash mobs in Kind's Aegis than you do the random monsters in Blackreach. But this is a massive shrine here. And next we have the Tusks of the Orc Father, and you can get this from public dungeon bosses in Hrothgar. So either public dungeon in Hrothgar, kill the boss, you got a chance. And now we have the Anvil of Old Orsinium, and you can get this from the mobs that are around the event group boss in Old Orsinium public dungeon in Hrothgar. So meaning the little trash mobs that are used around the little forge to activate the group boss to let him jump down, and it's actually an interactive blacksmithing station. And finally you have the music box that you can get, and you have to get 3 pieces to get this. So one of them you get from Somerset Jewelry Boxes in Alinor, another one you get from Safe Boxes in any zone, and another one Thieves Troves in any zone. So that's where you get the 3 pieces for this. Jewelry Box Alinor, Safe Box any zone, Thieves Trove any zone. And there are the places where you scry the lead to get it. Alright, that's it. Hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment, or else. No, I'm kidding. I'm about to come out with a few more videos, chest farm videos, but I just wanted to do this so you could have a visual of how these furnishings look, so you didn't have to run around getting them, finding them, look at them, decide damn, that's not what I thought it was, or how it looked, or whatever. So watch some of my other videos, give me some love, show me some love, and keep an eye out for the next one. I'll see y'all next time.